In one of my previous videos, I talked about things you can do with OCs, and I did mention, like, symbolic art of your characters, and I realized that I didn't really explain what that meant, but I was thinking about a very specific thing because I had just finished this piece of art of my characters. So I'll just explain that now. I guess this video is more so about, I guess it's about, like, symbolism and how you can make, art pieces that kind of, like, foreshadow something about your characters. And the foreshadowing is non-existent because I will be explaining every part of this fucking process. So, you don't have to worry about that. If you want to look at the art pieces, try to determine your own meaning, and then come back to me and be like, this is what I think you were trying to do. You could always do that. So, it's two art pieces. It's one of Tyler with a wolf behind him, and it's one of Eli with a sheep behind him. I mentioned earlier that I picture Mother Demon's design as a sheep in wolf's clothing, and that relates to this art piece where Eli is related to the sheep and Tyler is related to the wolf. I really like these two pieces. I do think obviously that Tyler's is more dynamic, more like almost terrifying, versus Eli's is like more of like a supporting art piece to Tyler's, because the pieces wouldn't really make sense on their own, but when they're paired together, they'd make a lot more sense, I feel like. So my friends asked for me to explain this. They're my beta readers, and they slid up. And so I did. So basically my idea with this art piece is demons aren't necessarily prey animal adjacent. Usually they're more of like a apex predator kind of vibe, except for artificial demons because they are created and they are considered like the bottom of the food chain. And I just think about the fact that, basically I'll just read this word for word, despite Tyler's efforts, he is considered the top of the food chain as an exorcist, and he can try as much as he can, but the two of them cannot ignore the fact that they are both on very different sides of an old power dynamic. Tyler is the wolf, he is considered the top of the food chain. Eli is a sheep. He is the bottom. He's the very bottom. And wolves will attack that sheep, you know? That's what they're designed to do biologically. They are supposed to attack prey. They are supposed to feed themselves. That is what they do. And it's a little hard to change that fact. A wolf can pretend to be a sheep, but it's never going to be a sheep, as much as it tries to ignore its biology. You know, it's this whole dynamic that I really like in the comic about how it's like Tyler's trying to go against his biology as an exorcist. He's trying to be a nicer exorcist. He's trying to be fair. He's trying to be a new type of exorcist that shows compassion and isn't just blatantly biased against demons. But at the end of the day, it is a biological thing. It is not a societal thing that he is an exorcist. Biologically, he is from bloodlines of exorcists, and nothing he does can change that, and nothing he does can change how demons view that. That's what makes, I feel like, Eli and Tyler's friendship so unique, is the fact that, at first, Eli doesn't think he's an exorcist, and thinks that he has more power over Tyler. But then, he realizes he's an exorcist, and he kind of feels that power crumble almost immediately. Eli he's not in fear of Tyler, but he is nervous, which he should be. And Tyler is actually the one who's the most nervous, the most in fear of it, because he's so worried about the idea of hurting Eli. That is his, number one fear, basically. And it manifests in different ways. I don't want to spoil anything, but it is a big plot thing. It's a thing that comes up a lot. And it gets more and more intense based on what happens. So, I don't know. So I guess I'll just talk about it, I guess. Yeah, so with this, Tyler's eyes are he usually has very big eyes with like little, just like cute eyes, cute pupils and stuff like that. With this, it's like the light has faded a little, and it's like he's at his most like exorcist vibe, where it's like his eyes are more related to like a predator's eyes than like a prey's eyes. He has those like, he has that very serious look in his eyes. There's like a shadow cast over his eyes. He has a mission in those eyes, I feel like. And you can see his magic. He's also using magic in this moment, which shows why he is considered the wolf, is because of this magic. And usually his magic is very soft, it's very blue, but when it comes to using his magic, it is a little bit of an emotion-based thing, but it's also biological. It used to be that every exorcist was using this type of magic, this like yellow, sharp, like magic, but that has kind of faded away. Exorcists have gone less powerful, so they were using this like blue magic, but Tyler is able to use that yellow magic due to his powers being pushed back, and so it was like concentrating in himself for so long that it caused this magic to be quicker to come out of his body, basically. It's a weird system. It gets explained in the comic, I promise. I just wanted to give some context a little. When you have a teenage boy who has some issues, then yeah, stuff's gonna happen with that magic. Especially if it's emotion-based. He is a teenage boy. He's going to have emotions. Yes. I didn't show Eli being scared. He's almost in a neutral facial expression with just a little bit of a nervous energy, Because he's not scared of Tyler. He is nervous of his powers, but he trusts Tyler over his abilities, basically. He trusts that Tyler isn't going to hurt him. It's like a thing. I had this whole thing where Tyler is above Eli. Eli is below Tyler. So the light shows that in these two. It's, the light is below Tyler, so it is lighting him up from below, versus with Eli, the light is above him, so it is lighting him up from above. And it's the same thing with the animals as well. I just thought that was interesting. I think I ate up with these. I think it's a cool way to show their characters a little. I don't know. This is what I meant by symbolism, though. I meant like show off something about your characters that the people that view your art, they don't really see that side of your characters very often. And maybe it's something that's like mentioning stuff that happens later in the comic or something. Or maybe it's mentioning a dynamic that they haven't seen quite yet. But it's just informative. It informs your audience about your character in a really cool way. And also, it's really fun to draw. I love it. It's slay. I love it. That's all I had to say. I just love these guys. And I hope this was more clear. Me showing you the art and explaining it rather than me talking about the art but then never showing it. But yeah. That's all. That is all I had to say today. Yeah. Bye.